with me while I get everything set up. Let's see. Message, chat, close that. Okay. Save. Come on. Thank you. Hey, Froggy. What is... Hey, Sharon. You know, YouTube, don't mess with my live. What is it with my chat being disconnected and then successfully connected? Come on. You've messed with enough things. Let's leave it alone. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. What do I want? Such as... All right, let me go here. And let me share this. Okay. Hey, Froggy, Carol, Sharon. Terry should be with us tonight in the chat. And she did ask me earlier if I was going live. Oh, coffee. Coffee sounds good. Coffee sounds really, really good. Okay. Don't think I need that anymore. I got that. Let me go get rid of my keyboard. And let me get stuff that I need. Isn't he, look at him. Isn't he cute? Look. I love him. Love him. Love him, love him, love him. Oh. Need that. So I'm sure we're going to have more people come on. Okay, no one's gone and sent a text, so that's fine. Okay, so hopefully everything works out fine because last night I ended up doing the update to my phone. So hopefully everything works. I know my home screen, everything, it made the font all small. So hopefully everything is going to work out because, you know, YouTube does enough of messing everything up. So other than that, not a whole lot going on here. Um, I'll just say that, well, no, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about it. There's Terry. Yeah, it's just I got some things that I have to start thinking about and start changing. Not in regards, you know, to doing my lives or anything. It has nothing to do with this. It has to do with the actual job. I think it's time for a change. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I don't know if Mia will pop on here tonight, but if she does, everybody be sure to wish her a happy birthday. Today is her birthday. And one of the things that I've kind of taken on, I may have mentioned this before, that when I started this job, one of the things that they had done was they like to celebrate birthdays. So when I first started, I told my boss at the time, you know, don't buy greeting cards because I make them. And, you know, everybody would sign it, you know, someone would make a cake and then, you know, there'll be a little something for them. So after, you know, I've done this all that time. When 2020 rolled around and we were working from home, I carried it on and I still sent them all birthday cards. I found out in advance, you know, what things do they like, what's their favorite color. Of course, I know when their birthday is, so I would still make a birthday card for them and I would mail it to them. Well, now that we're back at the office 3 days a week, I'm still making the cards, and this time I, you know, since what, the beginning of April, I've actually just been handing them the card rather than mailing it. So this past Wednesday, I not only handed Mia her card, but another coworker's birthday is this coming Sunday, so I did her card as well. And then one of the things also that my previous boss had done was, she would send out an email to the whole group and have like a birthday graphic and all that, to wish that person a happy birthday. And then everybody in the office would then, go ahead and wish their happy birthday to them. So when my first boss had left, the one that had replaced her, she carried it on by doing those little graphic emails and all that. And so she had left near the beginning of March. So now I'm basically taking that part over too because nobody else wanted to go and do it. So yeah, I ended up pulling out Canva, and I created two birthday graphics for both of them today. So other than that, I also finished up the last project for tonight's video, and I did all the other things I needed to get done with it as far as doing the PDF for it, the whole write-up, take pictures, all of that. So I got done with plenty of time to spare. So I feel like I'm a little more together tonight because last week, yeah, the two videos for Thursday didn't get done till after the Friday video, and yeah, they shouldn't be done out of order. They should be done in order. So I got that Thursday one done. This is done. And then this weekend, is she on here? Yes, she is. So my assistant isn't here tonight, and she's not going to be here this weekend because she's going to work on her craft room. And so well, I'm going to then start working on what needs to be done next week. Maybe I can work on all of the Thursday videos and get those kind of done and out of the way. And then it's just basically focusing on working on what I do on Fridays. So this coming Thursday, I'm doing that Lovely in Linen suite. That's another floral designer series paper and a flower stamp set. And then it has this punch. I don't know the name of it. I mean, I'd have to look in the tote, but that's the plan for next Thursday. And then I think this is online exclusive. I can't even keep track anymore. I'll be honest with you. I can't keep track as to what's new catalog and what's online exclusive, but I think this is online exclusive. So Florals and Bloom, that's going to be next Fridays. And then after that, a Fish and a Wish bundle. That's the one with that fish punch. And then that, well, it's not the final Friday, but I'm going to do celebratory sips. And then I'm going to do botanical textures on the last Friday of the month. So hopefully I can get all these projects, designed and put together and everything goes really smoothly. And that's the goal. And then start planning on what I'm going to do for next month. I got lots of new product that I can work with. And I think also next month, I don't see her on here. Hi, Becky. Hi, Tracy. I don't see her on here, but um, one of so next month, Andrea is going to be my guest stamper. Now I don't know if it'll be on a Friday night, but it'll probably be like what we did with Terry, and it'll be on a Saturday, but it may be earlier in the day. So we don't exactly have the exact date, but I think sometime next month on a Saturday, Andrea is going to be our guest stamper. So that's kind of like a little bit of a heads up. So we're still working on what day that's going to be, what time, and what she's going to work with. So with that, let's see. Yeah, as you noticed, Pinned up at the top of the chat box is the link to the Google spreadsheet to add your name for the drawing for tonight's cards. Now, these cards, I'm going to say that they're pretty simple. There's just some coloring involved with them, so that's what may take a little bit of time on these cards, but it shouldn't be too bad. So hopefully we're aiming for less than 2 hours altogether. So with that, I am going to flip the camera. If you get dizzy or whatever, look away for a moment, and then I'll do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll get into the projects, okay? So let's go ahead and flip this. And then I think we're going to have to bring this down too. I know I flipped it. Come on. Okay, let me see what this looks like. Um, I'll make sure that I'm not too low. Okay. Wow, now the people living above me have to like sound like they're coming through the ceiling. If you hear that, I apologize for that. Terry, you still have another birthday card coming from Tracy. I don't know what's up with the post office, but I don't ever remember there being this much of a delay from my mail that would have went into the mailbox here to get into my P.O. box. I've been going up there, like almost every day, and there's been nothing in the mailbox. And it's a little frustrating too because um, I had to send off to get a copy of my marriage certificate. Now, I'm not in a rush whatsoever to get this real ID because my driver's license needs to be renewed in February of next year. So I'm not worried about that, but I would like to go and get a passport. And so I do need to get that. And I paid a good amount of money to get it. And it was mailed, I think, probably either the same day or the day after I got the change of address done. So there's a lot of mail that I know that I've seen in my informed delivery. I can't access it now because it was tied to the other address, but yeah, there's mail. So Tracy, your card, I still have not seen your card yet. So I know that that's coming. It's just I'm wondering when the post office is going to stop holding my mail for ransom. So you still have another card coming, Terry, and I'm really hoping that it's going to show up in time because soon as that but was a beautiful butterfly embossing folder, that hybrid embossing folder, soon as that comes back in stock, and they're talking about next I think next Monday. Now it was pushed out by a week. Soon as that comes in, I'm going to get one for myself because I never got it yet. And then I'm going to get one for you. So when I go to mail that out to you, I'm really hoping that that is going to be in so I can just send it all out at once, and and it'll all be good and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So, all right. So, a few things. So again, there's still more last chance products, and there's going to be every 2 months. They're going to update this. So I think the next time is going to be in June. And again, it includes everything that was from either this annual catalog that just retired, the January to April mini, probably still some things that were from the holiday mini, and what was it, clearance rack and online exclusive. So every 2 months they're updating, stuff that go into last chance, and of course it's while supplies last. Now, the one thing I will say that I noticed that they did when this came out is that literally there were things that just came out in the online exclusives, and then it seems like in no time, then it's on the last chance products list. Like, for example, the Otterly Awesome, I think that's the whole suite. They're retiring the stamp set and the set of dies. Now I don't know if it's still available or not, but when they mark down the price of the stamps and the dies, so it's much cheaper getting it individually rather than the bundle price, because the bundle price, that's only 10% and they don't take any more off on that. So I mean, it seemed like that wasn't even out that long. The stamps and dies are retiring, yet the paper, that Lost Lagoon cording that we used on one of our cards last Friday, and I was it something River something pearls, those all carried over. So those are still available. So I do have now the whole suite. I was a little bit late in getting it, but I did get the whole suite. So that'll probably be something that I do probably sometime next month. So that's still going on. Then that right now they have a starter kit special going on from the 6th through the 31st. So with this, um, the price of the starter kit is still the same. For here in the US, it's $99 plus tax, and the shipping is free. Uh, Normally, it's $125 in product that you would choose, but now you can choose an additional $40, so that's $165 here in the US. And then in addition to that, you do get like a whole box of 8 of the annual catalog. There's some business related type stuff, and then there's also a paper pumpkin in there. Now, to get the starter kit and to be a demonstrator, you don't have to build it as a business. You don't have to do the classes. You don't have to do the videos. You can just simply enjoy that instant 20% discount when you first join, and then when you hit a certain selling threshold, which honestly it wouldn't even take long to even meet that, then your discount goes up to 25%. There's also there's also demonstrator only events that happens that you can participate in. Again, you get to see catalogs early before customers get to see them. You also get to pre-order whenever there's new product coming out. Usually a month before it goes live to customers, you have the opportunity to pre-order that stuff. So it's a nice little perk. So if you have any questions at all about this, feel free to reach out to me. My email is in the description, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Also, if you're not working with another demonstrator and you're here in the United States and you would like a paper copy of this catalog, see, now I can do this because now the catalog's gone live. I can actually open it. So if you're again, if you're in the US, not working with another demonstrator, and you would like a paper copy, just send me an email, um, full name, mailing address, and let me know that you would like a copy of that. One other thing, really, really quick, I did kind of go over this last Friday. So last Friday, the catalog didn't quite go live yet, but one of the things that they were mentioning was regarding the cloud cover ink pad, the full size ink pad. So they were saying that there was an issue with the ink, and at the moment it wasn't going to be available, and then they were going to work on it to try to make it available. Well, they came back and they had said that uh, it's an issue with the ink itself. There's like this, what they're saying, it's a rare chemical reaction when that ink is paired with the foam ink pad. So they're saying that it results in a shift in the color of the ink. So what they had decided that they're going to do, the full size ink pads, they were going to make available to demonstrators only. So I did put in, hello Stacy. I did put in an order when the catalog went live. So I did order a full size cloud cover ink pad because I look at my ink pad storage and there would just be this big gaping hole without that ink pad in there. And plus, I'm kind of curious to see, what that color does because they were saying that when it was at on stage, yeah, they were just saying this fun little fact that said demonstrators used the shifted cloud cover ink at onstage and loved the color. In fact, many asked if they could purchase it, and they say we love a happy accident or are glad both iterations of the hue are well received. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen when I use that, but so it's not that full size pad is not going to be available to customers. So what they are saying is that there's two different options that you have. So in the beginning of this catalog, let's see if I can find it really quickly. And of course, no, it's in the very beginning because this is where all your very simple Stampin' Stuff. Okay, so you have two different options to get a cloud cover. So there is this small assortment one of the ink spots. It has real red, petal pink, garden green, cloud cover, and early espresso. So there's that option, or you can get the re-inker, and then there's the uninked ink spots that you can add the ink to that. Now these are felt pads, so the ink is fine with the felt pad. It's just the foam pad for some reason. It's having a weird reaction, but we'll see what happens when I get it. I'm supposed to be getting that order sometime next week, so I just wanted to put that out there about cloud cover. And so also, the regular Stampin' Right marker, the what is it? The Stampin' Blends, the re-inker, all of that is fine. That ink is fine. So those, there's no issue with those. And then of course you got the cardstock, and then there's the ribbon and embellishments and all that. So I just wanted to bring that up really quickly again. And so that's all I have as far as housekeeping stuff goes. So let's dig in and let's talk about what we're going to be using tonight. So I am using the Mixed Media Florals Suite. That's what it's called. It's a whole mouthful. Whole lot of words. Mixed Media Floral Suite. Final answer. So in this suite, there is the 12 by 12 designer series paper. This is the Mixed Media Florals, and this has basic black, boho blue, which this came out while we still had those in colors. And one of actually the first project that I'm going to be making, I am going to be using my Stampin' Blends in boho blue to color a portion of that. So most people probably already have that boho blue, so we're going to use it. Then there's Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Mossy Meadow, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, and Shy Shamrock. So that is the designer series paper. Then there is also, this is the low profile dots. So you have gold and your petal pink. And then let's see what else is in here. There's the Mixed Florals bundle. Now, I didn't realize this until, do I want to say that when I got it, or maybe Yvonne, I think you had gotten this bundle, didn't you? And I think you brought your box over and you opened it up. I was like really surprised as to how big these images are. Like this image here and this one here. I didn't realize that these were so big. So I'm like, okay. So we are doing a card that we're going to use. Well, we're going to be actually using all of these images except for this one little ladybug down here. So there's coordinating dies that'll die cut the stamped images. Plus you got a detailed greenery piece here. And what's nice is that for these ladybugs, they have 2 dies for each of those. So a couple of little extra dies in there if you're die cutting a whole lot. And then since there is no greetings in this stamp set, and this one is photopolymer, then there is the mixed labels bundle. Now this is red rubber, so it kind of stinks that they didn't do it in photopolymer too. So I could have, die cut my labels and then go and stamp, but there's one card in here that I'm doing a greeting on the front. So I already took care of stamping and then die cutting it out with the labels. So there's one little greenery piece in here, and then there's some little decorative image here that does, I don't think this actually cuts, I don't think. Maybe I could be wrong. But I'll be using this label right here. So a couple of labels in there and a ribbon in that set. And then there is another really, really large embossing folder. This is the Plaster Painting 3D embossing folder. And again, I didn't realize this was one of those big, massive embossing folders. And I will tell you that this really does give a really deep impression of that design in the cardstock. So that's everything. I don't think this had any ribbon in it at all. At least I don't think it had any ribbon in it. I could be wrong, but I think there wasn't. Either way, if there was, I didn't use it on any of the projects. So let's bring in, oh, and I didn't mention this, I think at the very end. So the PDF, let's see, so last week, the PDF, I think I got it out there by Sunday, I think. But in the description, that last little paragraph right above the supplies, there is a link to my Google Drive, and in the Google Drive, it has all of the Friday Night Live PDFs in there, and it goes all the way back to January of last year. They're dated, and also the name of whether it's the bundle, suite, stamp set, whatever it was, the name of that is there too. And what's nice about these on the PDF, if you click on this Friday Night Live with the date link, it'll take you right back to that. I'm talking too much. It'll take you right back to the YouTube video that I did featuring that bit of product. So this will be out there tonight because I didn't have this put together when I went to do the live last Friday. So that'll be out there tonight. Okay, so like I said, there's going to be a lot of coloring with this. And I went ahead and I did my stamping and I did my die cutting ahead of time. And so we got the coloring that we're going to do. So for this card, the card base is basic white thick, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Mossy Meadow. This is 5 1/4 by 4. Then I have a piece of that mixed media florals designer series paper. Hold on, I think I need a sip of water. In this really awesome, massive flamingo cup that Terry got me. Yes, Terry, you are definitely family. Oh, did it actually weigh that much, Terry? Yes, I think somebody really, 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 really liked wrapping. So Yvonne likes wrapping. She literally wraps every single little thing. But anyway, so we're going to kind of mimic this designer series paper. So ahead of time, I had stamped the coneflower stamped image using the Memento Tuxedo black ink. And then this little cluster of flowers here. And then these two little ladybugs. Everything was stamped in black, and we're going to color those in. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of scrap paper. I want to put something underneath the cardstock, so then that way if any ink bleeds through the cardstock, it's not going to get on my grid paper. I'm trying to salvage my grid paper as long as I can. So let me bring in all of the blends. So there's a lot of blends that I am using on these. So for this one, we have the light and dark Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to start off with using the light, and I'm going to do the petals on these cone flowers. I think this yellow that's on there, did I read off crushed curry, I think? So it's a bit of a darker yellow, but we don't have a crushed curry blend. So has anybody placed an order yet out of the new catalog? Oh my gosh, Froggy. Oh, 1,000 pieces and tried to wrap them individually? Oof. Oh, that's brutal, especially if you got arthritis. So Terry, wait a minute, are you actually seriously saying like your birthday presents amounted to like 47 pounds? I mean, seriously? Yeah, I hear you, Terry. I hear you. Well, if I can remember, I'll tell you what it is that I did get. I wanted to make sure that I did get like the new ink color stuff. So I did get the re-inkers because I had gotten the ink pads during pre-order, and I had ordered not one but two of the full-size cloud cover ink pads. And the reason why is because Yvonne wants one, and I figured she wasn't going to be placing an order right away. So the thing is with those ink pads, I mean, my understanding is they got like a sizable amount in stock, but once they're gone, then that's it. They're not replenishing it. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to get one. She wanted one, so yeah, so I ordered two of the full size of that. I got all of the blends in the new colors, the re-inkers, the 6x6 designer series paper, all the color collections in that. I did get one of each of those. The new in color ribbon, got one of those. Um, what else? Oh, the Beautiful Gallery, is that the name of it? I did get that sweet. I wasn't thinking about getting that. And I'm going to tell you something. I ended up watching, what was it? I think, was it the day? Well, the next day, I think, was when pre order was. So she goes live on Mondays. I Oh, hello, Don. So what'd you do, Yvonne? Did you nudge him and say, "Hey, you need to go. You need to come on too"? But what was I gonna say? Yeah. So she ended up making this really, really cute card with it, and it was like, oh my gosh, I really like it. So I ended up getting that suite, and I gotta realize that catalog it's a whole year. I don't need to order everything in that catalog, like right away. So I'm using, this is light pecan pie. Now what I'm doing is these areas, I'm coloring them in with the light shade first, and then I'm going to go back over in some spots with the dark. So I'm not really looking to blend these colors together really perfectly, but I want to be able to see some of those shadows. Okay, and then for the leaves on here, I'm going to use the light and dark Mossy Meadow. So again, I'm going to take the light, do all these leaves. What else? What else did I order? I'm thinking there was another suite that I got, but now I can't remember. But what was oh, yeah, what was nice about it, between the free shipping and when they had that weekend of the 2 times the rewards, I had a sizable amount of rewards that I did put towards that order, so that helped. One of the things that I also had gotten, now this isn't available to customers yet, and Stampin' Up is doing a virtual event for demonstrators called Creativity Now. And when you registered for that, you had the opportunity to pre-order either the suite or individual products of what's going to be in the holiday mini catalog. So I'm going to put that aside because I'll do those stems in a little bit. So now I'm going to bring in Boho Blue. So that's the blue that's in the paper, and I know that this is retired, but oh well, we like Boho Blue, so we're going to use Boho Blue. And it's in the paper, so like I said, we're going to use it because we want it to match, right? But yeah, there's a suite that's really, really pretty. I don't even think any of the paper patterns really reflect anything Christmas, but I will say this, Terry, there's a whole lot of blue in it. A whole lot of blue. There's actually blue glimmer paper, and there's embellishments, and there's a ribbon, and there are like these dies with doves. So I think that event's happening in June. So those local to me, I'll probably have a get together or something and then create the projects. Okay, and then we got 2 more down here. Yeah, I think at this point that once that butterfly, well, you know what, Terry? I think when I end up getting that, Stampin' Up gives us, all the dimensions and everything on how to cut the paper and cardstock and all that. You just may have an envelope coming to you at that time. So, just saying. No, don't use your Stampin' Right marker and don't use your ink pad to color your ribbon. Use an alcohol marker. Just saying. Okay, so then this little cluster here, I am going to use the light and dark Calypso coral on this one. So we're going to take the light. Yeah, I do. But it's so much fun. You spoil people all the time, Terry, so you're just giving it back to you. Because you deserve it, girlfriend. So last Friday, I was supposed to get my windshield replaced. I was going to have Safe Light come out here and do it. And it turned out that I canceled it Thursday of last week because they talked about rain. And of course, there's no place to put my car under for them to do that. So I rescheduled it for this past Monday. So now it's weird driving my car with a windshield that has no nicks in it, no crack in it. I mean, it's beautiful, but now the thing is, in the process of him taking my rear view mirror off, he ended up breaking the clip on it. So he ended up replacing it. However, I wondered why my compass in my dash wasn't working. Well, come to find out that there's like some kind of Bluetooth thing or whatever that happens within that rear view mirror. So I have to like recalibrate it, and I have to pull out my little owner's manual to find out how to do that. It's weird seeing like just two little lines. Okay, so now that this is dried a little bit, I'm going to bring in the lighter shades of these colors. And I got Daffodil Delight. I gotta check to see if I got another set of these because I know that the brush tip on these is all chewed up. But this is like, I think, one of the original when they came back out with these things. So I think this is one of the original ones. So it's pretty old. It's lasted a while. Okay. And then I'll come back in and I'll just blend it out a little bit with the lighter one. Okay, and then let's see. Let's take our dark pecan pie. This isn't getting all blurry every time I pick my hands up, is it? Because I do have this camera down a little bit lower. Okay, and then the dark Mossy Meadow. Add. I'm not looking for perfection in coloring this because you can see there's like this loose watercolor type look in the print of the paper. Okay, and then all these stems I'm going to do in the dark Mossy Meadow. Okay. All right, and then let's get our dark boho blue. And I'm just going to add a little scribble of color in the center of these flowers. Yeah, when this first came out, I was thinking the same thing. I don't, they got so many flowers. I don't need another flower. And what happens? I end up getting it anyway. But I just end up getting it a little bit later. At least it's before they decided they were going to retire it. Okay, so our little piece here is okay. Now these little ladybugs, I'm going to just color them with the dark. Now one of the colors that is in the paper is Poppy Parade. And I really didn't think of that when I went and did the sample of this card. And I just went with the dark Calypso Coral, but the dark actually looks like a shade of red, so it works. Okay. Now let me get the light Daffodil Delight. Let me see what this brush tip looks like. Then I'll blend this a little bit. Yeah, flowers are okay, but I have so many sets that are flowers. So many. But that one, what is it, Beautiful Gallery, that whole suite. Oh man, that paper's pretty too. And the card that Dina made, I think I'm going to be casing that one that she did when I go to do my live with that set, because man, it was so pretty. And of course, she used like some of the new in colors too on that. So, okay. And then I'll bring in this light pecan pie again, and I'll just blend that a little bit. Okay. So our flowers are, and our little ladybugs, they are done. So let me take these, get these out of the way. And then let's start assembling our card. So I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Don't mind my arm. Okay, and then I'm going to add my designer series paper to my Mossy Meadow piece. Now let me see. Let me get another refill because I think I'm going to need another one. Okay, so I have a refill because I got a feeling I'm going to need it. I have to refill my glue bottles. When you say all the designer series paper, are you talking just in general, all of them, or the new color collection ones? The ones that have like all the same patterns on it, Terry? Okay, and then we're going to adhere this to our card base. Oh, shoot. See, when you do it too hard, this is what happens. You end up tearing your cardstock. We don't need to be aggressive when it comes to, you know, putting adhesive on our cardstock. Oh, okay. Is that the one you're talking about? The one that looks very vintage-like? That's the one that's part of that beautiful gallery. But yeah, that is really pretty paper. Okay, and then we've centered that on our card base. And then I'm going to take my pieces here. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of these. Page 121. See, now you got me curious. Yeah, because now they put all the paper. Oh, all of these. Yes, these are the ones I have coming. I got all the colors. I will tell you, I really haven't had the chance to play with them yet, but I really like the in colors that they came out with. I have to say that I like Secret Sea because that's a really, really dark teal. And I'm all about purple, then your aquas and the teals and the blues and okay. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals on my little piece here. And then let's get our minis. And I take your pick tool. And let's see, both of my little ladybugs. We're going to get a dimensional on them. Okay. So now let's assemble our cards. So I'm going to take all these backings off. So when Terry was here, that was it? No, it wasn't the day that she went live, but it was that Tuesday. I took the day off from work. You know, I had PTO. I gotta be sure to take the PTO that I got and don't leave that much because I'm thinking before the year is out, I'm thinking I'll probably have a different job. And with our company, at least our group anyway, or being part of corporate, that they don't pay out your PTO, your unused PTO when you leave, which I think is a little sucky if you ask me, because you know you earned that time. So all right, so I'm going to take this little cluster here and I'm going to pop that up. Now, one of the things that I do want to do ahead of time, I want to bring in my Wink of Stella. Now, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm a little scared to use this one. If I can get it. This one is very, very, a lot of it kind of came out. And I just don't want too much. I don't want it to puddle out. I'm going to take my chance on this, because the other one's pretty much drying out. So I want to brush some on these Calypso coral flowers. before I put down my larger cluster here. Oops, I forgot one. Okay, and then this will sit right on top. Whoops, come here, you little ladybug. And then we'll add and I'm not going to add it on the leaves, I'm just going to put it on the flowers. And it's just this stamped and colored image. I'm not going to worry about the ones that are on the designer series paper. Okay, I think I got all of them. Okay, and let me close that. And then for my little ladybugs, let's not call them butterflies because they're not butterflies. And we're going to stick these down. And then we'll add a little bit of Wink Stella on them as well. Okay, and then two more things. I have the low profile dots. Again, these are in gold and pretty, that's not pretty and pink, that's petal pink. And I'm going to add a few of these. So I had one down there, one there, another one over here, and then one more little touch to this. I'm going to bring in some linen thread, and I'm going to do a double bow on this one. Yeah, so that Tuesday, one of the things that I got this like a few years ago, and I didn't see them out there again, but there's another fellow demonstrator. She was in, I think, North Carolina, and now she's retired and she's in Las Vegas. And she does like 3D printed stuff, and she does t-shirts, and she does a whole bunch of things like that. And one of the things that she had designed were these wooden blocks. So it's something like, kind of like a challenge type of thing. So each block kind of signified something different, and she had them, that were Stampin' Up terminology on it. And there were like generic ones. So the ones I got were the Stampin' Up ones. So like one dice there, on all 6 sides, there'll be, say, for example, the color collection. So you'll have like, say, brights, subtles, regals, neutrals in color. Another one would have like embellishments. I think another one was like different types of cards. And you basically roll the dice, and whatever comes up, you kind of create a card based on what comes up on those blocks. So when Terry was here that Tuesday, we brought out those blocks, and that just so happened to have been the same day that I had a Stampin' Up order show up, so I had new products. So this was one of the suites that showed up, and then there were a few more. And so between Yvonne, Terry, and myself, we had done a card based off of what those blocks said. So one of them had said it was, well, a fun fold card, so we had to come up with a fun fold. Then subtles was the color, so we had decided that instead of the entire card being in subtles, we had to have at least something in the card that had subtles in it. I think, what was it? There was something else that, a punch, I think. But I basically, or you can do a die cut. So I kind of die cut flowers. And then what else was on there? Like an embellishment. Oh, and then the theme of it was friendship. So you had to have like some kind of greeting or something on it that was based on friendship. So we made our cards and, oh, okay. We made our cards and they came out really, really cute. So I can't show you the cards I made. Well, I did 2 cards. And I was told that I was, an overachiever. But the reason why I did 2 cards, how can I do a friendship card and then I had to determine, between Yvonne or Terry who was going to get the card. So that's why I made 2. So, okay. But there is the first card. So it does look a little busy, but you're just kind of highlighting the same type of image that is in the designer series paper. So I think that came out really, really neat. I like that. Now I didn't put a greeting on there because I thought, well, if I try to add a greeting on there, then it's just going to be too much on this card. Okay, so there is the first one. So now let me get the stuff for the second card. Okay. I'm just making sure I don't have any little bits and pieces mixed in the actual sample card. There's Andrea. Were your ears ringing, Andrea? Because I made mention of you earlier. I was telling them that it was in the works that we were going to work on you actually doing a live sometime next month. And of course, all the details for it, were forthcoming because we haven't decided like what day, what you're using, and all that other stuff. Okay, second card. So I have a piece of Calypso coral. This measures 11 by 4¼ scored at 5.5. Let me move that out of the way. I have a piece of basic white that measures 5¼ by 4. This is going to go on the inside of our card. And then I have another piece of the 5.5 by 4. And ahead of time, I had embossed it using the plaster painting 3D embossing folder. So you can see that, I mean, that's a really deep embossed piece of cardstock, but it looks really, really neat. So I did that ahead of time. I have another piece of Calypso coral that measures 4 by 3.5, and then some of that Everyday Happiness Designer Series paper that measures 3¾ by 3¼ and then ahead of time, using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, I stamped these 2 images because basically these images are in the paper. So I'm going to color these images following how they colored it in the paper here. And then ahead of time in basic black, I had stamped this greeting. And then so this greeting and the set of dies comes from the mixed labels bundle that's part of this suite. Okay, so let's fold and burnish. Yeah, then I got to figure out who can I get next. Oh, we got Victoria. I wonder if she'd be game for it. We're starting to run out of people. Oh, okay. And then this piece for the inside, I'm going to add adhesive to that. So our card's going to open up like this. And we'll put that inside. Okay, and then we're going to take our embossed piece. Now for this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt my liquid glue. I still have to put glue in this bottle. Or do I have any in the other one? Okay, this one feels like it's got a little bit more in it. Just got to take the time to add more glue. Because being that this is so embossed, if I use this, I'll probably take a risk and end up tearing the cardstock, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Right, and then I'm going to add this to the center of my card base. And it's a shame because most of this is going to end up getting covered. So you'll see a little bit of it. Okay, and then we'll add our designer series. I think I'm at the end. Yep, I'm at the end. So I'll pop this off. And I get a refill, and hopefully these, I did get more of the refills, and hopefully these refills aren't going to have any issues with that cellophane piece kind of like folding over itself, because that's frustrating. You know, you get a new refill for your thing and then you got to fight with it because there's something wrong with it. Okay, so we're done with this one. All right, so now where were we? Okay, and we'll add this. The center of this. I think when I cut this, this was, looks like the blade was a little dull. Let's see, I think I can, oh, I know what I can use. I know. Let me get one of these trusty dusty little sanding blocks. And I'll just sand all those little loose fibers off of there. Okay, and then we'll adhere this to our card base. I'm going to put that over to the left-hand side, like so. Okay, we'll set that aside. And then let me get my paper here and then our two little images. So on this one, I'm going to use, where is it? Dark petal pink and I just threw it in here, and the dark Calypso coral. So I'm basically following the colors that are in the image themselves. And then for my leaf piece, I'm going to use my dark Granny Apple Green and the dark Shy Shamrock on that one. Okay, so then let's take our dark Granny Apple Green and I'm going to do the base of these leaves. And then I'll come in and I'll fill the rest of it in using that dark Shy Shamrock. And then we'll bring in our dark. I did the same thing on one of those images from, what was that Lily Pond Lane, on the one with the ducks. Kind of followed the coloring that they did in the paper on that one. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to color all these in using the dark petal pink. And then I'll scribble kind of like in the middle using the dark Calypso coral. So how are things going? Okay, Deborah. You know, like I've told Terry, because sometimes Terry has said that, you know, she'd be watching and then she'd end up falling asleep. Mia said that usually you see Mia on early on and then you don't hear from her. But I think she did stick it out till near the end because she was on when we did the drawing. And I just say it's like, yeah, I have that effect on people. I guess if I was watching myself, I'd probably put myself to sleep too, so you're all good. I hope that I hope that you're able to get some good rest tonight, Deborah. Yes, and I mean if you end up popping off and you're not on here, that's okay. I understand. That's what the replays are for. And I'm still praying for you too, Deborah. Okay. I'm just going to scribble a little bit of this dark Calypso coral in the middle. And there we go. So it mimics what's in the designer series paper. Okay. So then on these pieces, I'm going to bring in my glue dots. And we'll adhere these little pieces down using these. And try to do this without ripping it. Let's see, got one more right here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my greeting piece. And I will place this right here. And then this is going to get tucked in right under here like so. So I'll stick that down. And then we'll add some glue dots on the back of this piece. Oh, okay, Carol. Well, I have one more card, and I mean, there's coloring on that, but that should go, it should go quicker than the first one. Okay. So now I'm going to just place my greeting piece down where I'm gonna pop it up, and then I'm gonna play, actually no, I'm not gonna do that because I just realized that I want to take my Wink of Stella and I want to add some on the leaves before I put the other pieces down over it. Okay, and then this piece I'm gonna pop over here. I think you're really going to see these few here because they'll be covered up. And then let's take our greeting piece and our dimensionals. Okay. You wake up at 1:45. Ugh. Terry, I don't know how you do it because that would get old really, really, really quick with me. Just like this getting up early and having to drive all the way to South Haven. Yeah, that no. I don't like getting up that early. You know, I like the idea of rolling out of bed 5 minutes before 8 o'clock, walk a few steps to this room, and turn the laptop on. I like that idea better. It saves on the stress and all that of having to drive there, and yeah, it's just, might add to more, give me more stress. Yeah, I like money too, but you know, I did the one job where I mean, yeah, my day started early, it went late most times, and I got hardly any sleep. And the truth is, I am not a very pleasant person if I don't get enough sleep. I'm I'm a crabby pants. And I got to the point that there was so much stress with that one job, I had to walk away from it because if I stayed any longer, I probably wouldn't be with you here right now because I probably would have died. There was just too much stress with it, and management were just not appreciative, of the extra things that I was doing, stepping up and helping them. So I was done. Now this time around with this place, yeah, I need to get my resume updated, and I need to find something else, something preferably that if I can find one that's in the same zip code that I live in, that's even better yet. I wouldn't have to worry about getting on a highway and dealing with all these potholes and everything else. And if I can find one where I can just work from home, that's even better yet. Okay, and then I just made just a one-stranded linen thread bow, and we're going to place that right there. And then those low profile dots, bring those in. And this time I'm going to use these petal pink ones. Add one here. And then two of the smaller ones. So there's not a lot of bulk with these. So what's nice about these embellishments is when I go to mail these, I don't need to put, like a postcard or anything over it to prevent it from tearing through the envelope. So there is the second card. I really like these colors all together. So there's our second card. Okay, our last card. Let's see where we're at. We're at an hour and 25 minutes. Ooh, we'll cut it close. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So my third one. So our third one's going to be black and white with a pop of color. And I've also brought in, I was able to get these again, late to the party on getting this particular suite. And no sooner after I got it, yeah, the part that it seems like everybody wants it, and it's already on back order, and it just came back, and that's the Everyday Arches set of dies. So I did get the whole suite, so that's probably going to be next month. Hopefully because it's online exclusive, hopefully they won't retire it already. Okay. Card base is basic black. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. And then I have a piece of basic white that's 5.25 by 4. That's for the inside. From the designer series paper, this too measures 5.25 by 4. And then one of the other black and white patterns in there, I had die cut this using one of those Everyday Arches dies. And then out of basic white, I took the tulip image and I stamped that in the Memento black. And then we're going to color this in, and then we'll assemble our card. But I'm going to turn this fan on over here because now I'm feeling a little warm, and hopefully the sound of the fan's not going to affect the sound in the video. Let me know if it does, and then I'll deal. I just don't want the sound of the fan affecting the sound in the video. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in. So to color this one in, I am going to use, let's see, my light and dark peach pie and the light and dark shy shamrock. I'm also going to bring in the light and dark poppy parade, but these are like starting to dry out, so I do have a new set for these. Now what's nice about this, so I took the time to create all these labels for these markers. So now that I got a new set, this is the dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out the caps. And then so that way I don't have to redo the labels on those. I have to actually create a few more labels for the new colors when they come in. So what I did was I just did a Word document, and I use the labels that I use for my shipping. So I lined it all up, so I printed on that, and then I think, is it a 3/8 inch circle punch, and then I punch them out, and then I put them on. And now it is time consuming because trying to get the paper backing off of these little things. Okay, so that's it on the colors. So I am going to start off with my light peach pie, and I'm going to color all of these tulips in. Is Yvonne still here? Or is she having dinner and watching TV? And she forgot about us. I haven't seen her comment in a while. And then one more. Okay. Then I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take my light Poppy Parade. This cap isn't very tight. I think I'm going to have to put the other ones back on and then remove the stickers. Then I'm going to add a little bit where it would be a little bit darker for these shadows. And then I'm going to go over this with the dark peach pie. So this is going to blend this out some. Okay, we'll add a little bit over here. And you know what? Well, we'll add it. We're going to color these little flowers in with the light as well. Oh, she's back. Okay, and then I'm going to take my, let's see, this is the dark Shy Shamrock, and I'm going to do these tulip stems with this color. And then underneath this leaf too. Under here. Okay. Under here. There's so many lines. I'm trying to make sure that I'm actually coloring the leaves and the stems and not what should just be the background. There's a stem. And the base of that leaf. Here. Stem. Okay, that's the leaf. That's that. Wow, this is really like, so that's that. I think this is it. Okay, do I got everything? I think I do. And then we're going to come back in with our dark peach pie. Yeah, so that red doesn't look as harsh now. Just add some more there. All right, then I think all we got, oh well, we got our dark Poppy Parade. We're just going to scribble some in these flowers here. Okay, and then last but not least, we got our light Shy Shamrock, and then I'll come in and finish coloring in these leaves. I had to look. I thought, am I using light or am I using dark? It is light. So I think everyone on here, that uh, that list, you know, for the birthdays and all that, I did one last update. I think it was last week with Becky's actually our next birthday. She's on June 28th. Okay, and then we got a leaf here. Yeah, so you got these bright colors up against this black and white, so it's really going to pop. And just like with the other ones, I'm going to add Wink Estella just on the flowers themselves. I'm not going to worry about the leaves on it. Okay, we're almost there. Here. Here. And then down there. I think we got it all. Because this is that stem right there for the red flowers. So that's open and that's open too. Okay, so that's all our coloring. So I'm going to take these pieces. We're going to get this assembled. Yvonne, why are you saying be kind? Oh, Terry said, how dare you leave? That's why. Okay. Um, you're good, Yvonne. You were probably having dinner. But if you were watching TV and you completely forgot about us. Um, I don't know how to be kind was typed. Is that, you said that, Yvonne? Or kind of said that, or didn't it? Oh, okay. Um, I think it autocorrected now. Okay. All right. No, I don't think you will. I wouldn't have thought that you would have typed that. Okay. How dare the phone go and do this autocorrect thing? All right, so this black and white designer series paper, I'm going to adhere that to my card front. And then this basic white piece is going to go inside. Yvonne, come on, it's Terry. You of all people should know you've known her the longest. Okay, so then we got that. Then on this piece here, I'm going to bring in, this is the black and very vanilla large checked ribbon. So this carried over, this didn't go away. So Becky's favorite color is yellow. So that's good to know. All right. And I know exactly what I'm going to use for your birthday card. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in a piece of Scotch tape. And I'm going to add this about not quite halfway. So even the paper on the back is pretty. So when we did our cards that day, when we had our crafting day when Terry was here, this is actually the suite. So this designer series paper and this stamp set, she had chose this one to make her projects. And the card came out really, really pretty. So I'll make sure that's straight. It feels like Terry is still here. Ah, we miss you, Terry. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to take this piece and we're going to adhere this down to the center of our card base. Did who fall asleep? Yvonne, who are you talking about? Me? Did I fall asleep? No, I'm awake. Oh. No, I think Terry's still here. she's here. Okay, so we have that. And then I'm going to take this ribbon again and I'm going to tie a bow. Now I could have attempted to wrap this around and then tie a bow right on there, but let's not see like that kind of struggle, you know, on a live. We don't want that. It would take forever and then I get frustrated and, you know, we don't want that. Okay, we don't need our bow very big. All right, and then let's trim the ends like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece here, get my dimensionals. It's going to take a lot of dimensionals. Yeah, I didn't realize when this thing first came, when this suite first came out, I didn't realize that these stamps were so big. Do you have this suite, Andrea? I probably have asked you that question before, and you've probably told me, and I keep forgetting. Okay, now we're going to take our big image here, and we are going to place that right here, and then let's get our glue dots. I have my house in order. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This room is okay. The rest of the house may look good, but back here, come on, this hot mess. You know, at some point, what I have to do, and it's a real job in itself. So I have all these stamp sets ever since, you know, I've been a demo. I have like all these stamp sets, plus I have some that were from way back when I was, you know, just a customer. And so now I have like over here, there's like one of these media bookcases, and on top of it, all those stamp sets with the dies are the ones that were current. Well, I know there's a whole lot on there that they have retired, and then there's a whole stack over on this one that have definitely all retired, and the ones that I've used for like Throwback Thursdays. The thing is, these media bookshelves, I have everything in alphabetical order, and so two of them are in the closet. Yeah, I have to move a whole lot of stuff to get into that closet. And then yeah, well, you have to, you know, take, you know, stamp sets out, you have to shift them around, and that is going to be one huge undertaking. It's a lot of work. But, you know, between that and in the Calyx unit behind me, I have all that designer series paper too that most of that's retired as well, so I got to kind of pull that out. And then in one of these Calyx drawers right behind me, all those carded embellishments, yeah, well, a lot of those I think had retired as well, so I got to clean that out as well and just have what is current in there. Okay, so like I said, I'm only adding Wink Stella onto the flowers themselves. I'm not going to go crazy and add it to the leaves as well. Okay. So one more little step, and we're going to bring in our dots again, and we're going to use the gold on this one. And we'll add one down there, one up here, and we'll put one right over here. Okay. There is the third card. Not bad, an hour and 50 minutes and doing all this coloring, but we still got to do the card giveaway. So there's the third card. Let me bring in all three. Okay, so here is our first one. We just basically mimicked the designer series paper. So we have quite a bit on here, but I kind of like how that looks. You know, we took the same image from what's in the paper and we just highlighted it and popped it up on that designer series paper. Our second one, again, we're following the coloring that's in the designer series paper. So we have this nice fun card with that really cool embossing folder. And then here is our black and white with our pop of color with the peach pie, poppy parade, and the shy shamrock. So I'm going to place these right here. And we're going to do the drawing here in a little bit. What I am going to do is I'm going to tidy this up a little bit so I can bring in my laptop. Again, if you came in late or you haven't had the chance to, pinned up at the top of the chat box is the link to the Google spreadsheet to add your name for the Wheel of Names to win one of these cards that I made tonight. So while I'm doing this, if you want to add your name there, if you are having issues, just say something in the chat box and someone will add your name in there if you're having a problem. Now, this desk gets messy really, really quick. I'll tell you that. Could you imagine if my table was even bigger? That there, glue goes there. Okay. And again, I'll have the tonight after I'm done, I will have this PDF out there on the Google Drive. So that link again, it's in the description. It's that paragraph right up just above the list of supplies. Okay, so let me get my little basket here that has names in it. And I got my pen. Let me get some water here. Okay, let's see. Who do we have on here? So we got Froggy, Sharon, Terry, Yvonne, Tracy, Becky, Stacy, and Deborah. Is there anybody else? Do you want on the list, Carol? Let me add you, Andrea. Whoops. You're not typing. Why are you not typing? Yeah, I just added Andrea. Okay, Carol. Yeah, there are quite a few names on there. Okay, so are we good? We have, let me read it off one more time. Froggy, Sharon, Terry, Yvonne, Tracy, Becky, Stacy, Deborah, and Andrea. I'm going to move these out of the way, and again, they're going to be in the order that I made them, 1, 2, and 3, and I already saw that Terry's already like called dibs on number 1 already. Okay. So it looks like we got everybody, right? So let me take all these names. And let's get them on the wheel. And let's get rid of this stupid ad. We don't want no ads. Okay, so let me drag this in. Let me move this light out of the way because we know what happens when I bring this in. I mean, it looks weird as it is when you look at it because you're just seeing like, you know, like it's just like a tunnel. And these lights, they're still like glaring in it. What's up with that? Okay, so let's go ahead. I got all the names on there. Let me just make sure no one else has said anything. Okay, I don't see anything else. And every time I bring my arm in there, it always goes blurry. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's spin this. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to say a word, but I don't want this stuff to pop up. So that way you can actually hear the spin and then they do a little cheer and all that. So I won't say anything when I do this because then it would just sound really weird. Okay, so let's do this. It always goes blurry. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's spin this. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to say a word, but I don't want this stuff to pop up. So that way you can actually hear the spin and then they do a little cheer and all that. So I won't say anything when I do this because then it would just sound really weird. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's spin this. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to say a word, but is it repeating? I don't want this stuff to pop up. So that way you can actually hear the spin and then they do a little cheer and all that. So I won't say anything when I do this because then it would just sound really weird. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, Stacy, are you still with us? Yeah, you know, I went and I said that I was going to let you guys hear it. This is really like delayed because what's crazy about it, I said, okay, well, let me just go and, you know, unmute this so you can hear that. And uh, I don't know, it repeated it. I don't know why it repeated it twice. Is Stacy still with us? Yeah, has that ever happened? Because usually I have the laptop on mute, so I'm not hearing anything, but has it ever like repeated like that before? Hmm. Okay, so I don't know if Stacy's here. If Stacy is not here, then what I'll do is after I do like two more drawings, whichever one is left, I think I will, I'll give her the one that wasn't chosen, okay? All right. He's here. If Stacy is not here, then what I'll do is after I do like two more drawings. All right, that's not gonna work. Because I was trying to get so you can hear like the little spin and all that. And I don't know what it's doing, but it's just repeating things. Okay, Tracy. Okay. I'm just gonna keep that on mute, so you're only gonna hear me through the phone. Yeah, I know. You know, if I had the software where I can flip back and forth, then we can do that, but I don't know. It doesn't want, I don't know. You still with us, Tracy? Number. uh, yeah, I'm sorry. You know, I'm just gonna say it. The post office sucks. They do. They really do. They really, really do. Okay. All right. So then let's do this. And we'll spin it one more time. Ducky. Which one would you like? The second or the third one? Number 3? Okay. So then number 2, that one will go to Stacy. I had so many little sticky notes. Why does that thing keep on spinning? I don't know. I think YouTube is acting really wonky tonight because I don't know why I'm seeing that thing spin again. Okay, so then this one will go to Stacy. Let me get this out of the way so we're not constantly watching that thing spin. And let's kind of wrap up now. So if you like the projects that I made for tonight's live, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, and this is going to be more for those that come back and they're watching the replay. If you haven't already subscribed yet, please subscribe and then hit the little notification bell. It'll let you know when I upload another video. So typically on Thursdays are pre-recorded videos where I bring out my retired stash. And then we're coming up to, it's the 9th. So tomorrow, you have until midnight or 11:59 Mountain Time. If you're interested in Paper Pumpkin, that particular kit is going to be this one here that's themed around Father's Day. So the last day to subscribe for this kit is going to be tomorrow the 10th. And then once I get that that kit, which should be at some point, probably next week, probably more towards the end, since now it's going to go to the post office, I should have my video for that. I do an unboxing and create one of each of the projects. So I should have that video posted a lot earlier. Also, again, the PDF, as soon as I get off here, this will be out there on the Google Drive. Again, that link for it is in the description just above the list of supplies. I foresee no reason why I won't be live next Friday, so I should be here. And again, that's going to be another floral suite, Florals in Bloom. And I think other than that, for all you moms out there, even if you're, if you're fur baby moms, happy Mother's Day to you. And I hope that, you get spoiled this weekend and you get to have some, you time and fun time and all that. And wherever you may be, stay safe and be blessed, everyone. And I will see you later. Bye bye.